Good, happy Friday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of your morning news update right here on the Riley King Radio Network. It's Friday, September 17, 2021. Let's begin this Friday morning edition of your morning news update right now. First up, school administrators in New Hampshire frustrated with pushback as they deal with COVID-19 clusters. School board meetings stalled with mask debates. Many New Hampshire schools districts officials are expressing frustration as new data showed 28% of new cases on Thursday were in children. On Thursday, there were 23 COVID-19 clusters in schools across the state. Administrators are pointing to differences between this year and last year that are making it more difficult to keep everyone safe. One of the key frustrations is the opposition to policies. Administrators want to try to stop the spread. They said it is difficult to get to other topics at school board meetings because they are taken up with debate over masks. After 42 COVID-19 cases were identified in 12 days at SAU, 4 Newfound School Board voted to mandate masks in its 6 schools. They received pushback from individuals at the meeting. Our children are being used as pawns for a political pandemic, said one attendee. SAU 48 superintendent said they have been hearing similar feedback from parents, but not so much from children. They're suffocating the kids. They're legally restraints. And all these things we've heard, all these stories. But when you talk to school nurses and teachers and principals, they say that's not what we're hearing from our kids, said SAU 48 superintendent. SAU 48 involves 8 towns and 9 school boards. Each maintains a variety of policies. Now there is a cluster in Wentworth with 13 active cases in an elementary school with fewer than 70 students. We follow a toolkit, which they do right now. For the Department of Health, it's strongly recommended that they're masked inside, but it's a parent's choice, SAU 48 superintendent said. The school board at SAU 48 is scheduled to meet on Monday night. Shifting to a more relaxed mitigation strategy definitely has an impact, she said. It is what it is. Close contact don't have to quarantine in the building, just family household contacts. That's a big difference too. Administrators pointed out there is no remote fallback plan, so students quarantining must catch up on 10 days of missed work. Another difference, if enough teachers are out, a school would have to close. Class time would then have to be made up like snow days. And there you go on that report. AGs in 24 states, including New Hampshire, signed letter threatening to sue Biden administration over vaccine mandate. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to...
Tonight, New Hampshire is one of 24 states threatening to sue the Biden administration over the new vaccination mandate. A letter to the president signed by Attorney General John Formella and the AGs of 23 other states says, in part, the vaccines have helped protect millions of Americans, and there are surely others who could benefit from obtaining this treatment. But it adds you have offered the American people flimsy legal arguments, contradictory statements, and threatening directives. It is almost as if the goal is to sow division and distrust rather than promote unity and the public's health. A new rule the president announced last week forces businesses with more than 100 workers to require vaccinations or regular testing.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Second, Manchester High School suspends football program after players test positive for COVID-19. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Memorial High School here in Manchester making that announcement last night that they will suspend their football program. You may recall that last week Central High School, which plays its games here at Gill Stadium, made that same announcement.
The Memorial High School football team will stay off the field for 10 days after members of the team tested positive for COVID. Last week, the same decision was made to suspend practice and games for Central High School.
We certainly don't want to get anyone sick. We don't want to get put anyone in a bad situation. So from our players' perspective, yeah, they're really disappointed that they're not going to get to play in a game, and we've already missed a couple to this point. So as long as everybody's staying healthy and happy, that's the most important thing.
New cases are also popping up in classrooms across the state. For 9 days in a row, more than 20% of positive cases are in children, with nearly 24 clusters reported in New Hampshire schools. The Newfound School Board voted to mandate masks in 6 schools after recording 42 COVID cases in 12 days. An elementary school in Wentworth is reporting 13 active cases. The superintendent says masks are recommended, but not required.
The numbers started to creep up, and some of the school boards decided to go with mask mandates, and some did not. So that has been obviously, a little disjointed in what each school is doing, because it is up to local school boards at this point.
Back here in Manchester, neither of the high schools reported how many team members tested positive. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Employee dies after tractor-trailer accident at Walmart distribution facility in Raymond. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 rated reliability of Kubota compact tractors so you can do it all.
Work was halted and traffic stopped for hours outside of this Walmart distribution facility on Freetown Road in Raymond after an employee was hit by a tractor trailer on the job Thursday morning. Raymond police say it happened shortly before 10 when 54-year-old James Tomlinson was inspecting a trailer. That's when another truck behind him lunged forward and pinned Tomlinson between the two vehicles. EMTs from the Raymond Fire Department performed CPR on Tomlinson, who was pronounced dead a short time later. Walmart issuing this statement to WMUR that reads, quote, "We are heartbroken over the loss of our associate James. We're focused on supporting his family and our associates during this difficult time and are assisting authorities in their investigation however we can." Raymond police are also familiar with the victim. They tell us Tomlinson was a former Raymond police officer from 1999 to 2012. Before that, he worked as an officer in Deerfield. At this time, police say no foul play is suspected, and the driver of the big rig is not facing charges. And Raymond police tell us that their hearts are with the Tomlinson family tonight. They describe James as a loyal officer who served the town for 13 years. Live in Raymond tonight, Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Route 102 in Londonderry shut down after a head-on crash. 2 people injured according to police. A head-on crash in Londonderry has closed Route 102. Police said 2 cars were involved and traffic is being diverted. 2 people were injured, according to police. The exact of those injuries was not announced by officials, but 1 person was taken to the hospital. The road is expected to be shut down for a couple more hours. COVID-19 cases rise above 4,000 in New Hampshire for the first time since February. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1...
Active infections of COVID-19 rising once again tonight, even as New Hampshire's hospitalizations fall. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Jean Mackin. Current cases are up by nearly 300, pushing us over 4,000 for the first time since February 5th. Today, the state announced 561 new cases for today and an additional 53 new cases from yesterday. Current hospitalizations are down slightly to 126, and there are no new deaths reported today.